Hey everybody, Derek here. I'm here to bring another video for The Walking Dead, countdown to the start of Season 7. This is going to be my review and my reaction of the Season 7 trailer. What we saw, what happened, some of the things I think that it says, and what it's going to mean for Season 7. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, or if you don't want to be spoiled in any way, exit the video now because otherwise you will be spoiled. Okay, so did we get a compromise? No. As I was predicting a couple days ago about the trailer, many of us were wondering what we were going to see. We didn't get any new scenes with anybody that was in the lineup, so all of those characters could still potentially be Negan's victim. But what we did get from those 11 characters were memories that they were having, and whether this is going to be taking place when the season comes back or if this is just for the trailer, I don't know. But basically, what was happening in the first about minute of the trailer, it's only actually 3 minutes long. The first minute was entirely Negan doing his eeny, meeny, miny, mo like he was doing in the season finale, pointing the bat at everybody. And as it got to a particular person, that person was having memories of things that have happened to them since the apocalypse started. So for Glenn and Maggie, it was kind of like memories of themselves being together. You had Daryl, memories of Carol and the moment that he was feeding Judith. You had Carl and Rick and Michonne each thinking about each other, memories that they had. You had Abraham, Rosita, Sasha, they were having memories of each other. Eugene having memories about, how he finally became the survivor that he is, that he's no longer really a coward. Aaron with Daryl, different things like that were flashing before them. Now, whether that's going to be exactly how it is when we come back, I don't know, but it at least showed those characters. And obviously, as we can tell, somebody is going to be killed from that lineup. So the memories, I think that they represent kind of like life flashing before your eyes. If you've ever heard that phrase, many people say, well, as you're dying, your whole life flashes before your eyes. And I think that here, that might be what's happening. And I think that's what it signifies, is that they're thinking about the most important memories that they've had. And on the one hand, they're concerned about losing individuals. And on the other hand, they're also thinking, well, this might be the last moment that I have. So that might be what's going on there, but that was the whole first minute. We don't get any other scenes, but as I thought, we would probably get scenes from the Hilltop, the Kingdom, Alexandria, the Saviors themselves, Morgan and Carol, and Tara and Heath. What was interesting was Gabriel was missing from the entire trailer, so I don't know what that means, but if somebody can point that out, but I did not see Gabriel at all. And he wasn't even in the lineup. So what does that mean? Hard to say. Maybe he's got some big role coming up. But we did see various different scenes with the Saviors. And in particular, we saw Dwight in a couple of scenes. And what it looks like is from some of the things that were going on, I think there's going to be a flashback episode with the Saviors at some point. Because there was a scene in the trailer where Dwight was on a motorcycle, so it's clear that he does have experience with motorcycles in general, because he was riding one. His face was not yet burnt, I don't think. I saw it. I don't think his face was burnt. His hair was a little bit longer, and he looked a little dirtier. So I think that this is a flashback, and I think that one of the episodes is just going to be, I think, the history of the Saviors, or at least Dwight's going to be having some memories, one or the other. And he was holding a gun to someone's head, and he said, everything is his or will be. And I'm assuming that's referring to Negan. And we also saw a couple of scenes where, you saw kind of like the factory setup of the of the sanctuary where they live. You saw Dwight like in this darkened hallway looking up at somebody. I'm pretty sure it was him at that point as well. So we also saw a group of Saviors, including the mustached one. I don't think he was named, but the one that Rick was talking to first whenever they were stopped on the road. That guy he voiced, I think, Trevor in Grand Theft Auto. We saw him as well. We saw a big group of them. So we saw a couple of scenes with them, and I think that there's really going to be an episode that is focused on them. We saw Negan literally, walking by these group members, and they literally got down on their knees like you would in front of a king, or you would before you're praying before God or something. So you see just how powerful and how much Negan, he seems to be like that kind of guy that you hold up to a higher level. So you saw a couple of scenes there. You saw Lucille with blood on her, the baseball bat. You saw blood dripping down from it. So we know that somebody was killed, which we kind of figured that was going to happen. But we did see that. We also saw Negan hitting Lucille against something, like he was bringing the bat up and bringing it down like that. Of course, it was dark, and we don't know who he's hitting, but obviously he's probably hitting somebody in the lineup, or again, that's a flashback. They had a lot of blurry things in the background, so I couldn't tell. There was a couple of scenes at Alexandria. The very infamous scene in the comic books of Negan knocking on Alexandria's gate with his baseball bat. We did see that. We see Negan amongst the people in Alexandria. We see a scene where he is actually sitting down with Olivia and saying something along the lines of "there's no door number 4," something like that. I'm not sure if that's a comic book moment off the top of my head, but we do see Negan amongst people inside Alexandria. We have a moment where Spencer says to somebody that we don't see, it could have been Rick, it could be somebody else, but he says, "We should have made a deal with them when we could have." Is he referring about the Saviors? More likely. I think that, Morgan's voice about, hey, we should have just gone to them, that might be resonating with a couple of people, thinking, yeah, we goofed. We could have prevented this from happening, but we didn't. And, of course, in the comic books, Spencer is very much opposed to Rick, and you have to wonder if some of the things that are going on might start to churn some things in his brain, to potentially be like his mother, try to take back power from Rick, try to, make a deal with Negan, try to better the community. That could happen. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to turn out. We have some scenes from the hilltop, and it looks as though walkers have breached the perimeter of the hilltop. We see Jesus fighting walkers at various different places. There's a fire somewhere. So I don't know if Negan's group threw some bombs over the wall or what the deal was. But you also see Gregory looking out a window. And again, that's really what's going on at the hilltop. Now, in the comic books, when Rick and the group are in the lineup and when Glenn is killed, when they go back, when Rick goes back to Alexandria, he finds out that Saviors actually attacked the place. They actually went and attacked Alexandria. So this, instead of Alexandria getting hit, this could be one of two possibilities. One is that this might have been, again, a flashback. You never know, again, whether this was how Negan and the Hilltop first met. Maybe this is what happened at that point. So this could be a flashback. Or on the other hand, this could be taking place in the present. Because if you remember, the Hilltop was involved with Rick's group attacking the Saviors in Not Tomorrow Yet. So perhaps the groups put 2 and 2 together. I mean, obviously the Saviors are going to know we had Gregory's brother. No, it was Ethan's brother, excuse me. And then Craig obviously wasn't there and obviously wasn't among the dead. So they have to know that the Hilltop was involved in this. So my guess is that maybe instead of the Alexandria safe zone getting hit by the Saviors, that maybe this is the Saviors hitting the Hilltop. It's kind of like, hey, you guys broke the rules, now we got to go and attack you. So that might be what's going on there. But we do see some scenes from the Hilltop and things like that happening. We also have the Kingdom. We are officially introduced to the kingdom, and Ezekiel. I don't know who that actor is. I haven't watched the Comic-Con panel yet, but when that is posted, I will surely watch it. And we saw King Ezekiel. You know, we saw him sitting on what appeared to be his throne, and we saw Shiva, the tiger that he has. Very good CGI there to make the tiger. It was a very loud roar that the tiger made. So we do see that there's going to be scenes among them. We saw different scenes of people in the armor like the kingdom wears in the comic, killing walkers, you know, interacting with each other. You saw Morgan in a couple of scenes killing some walkers and being amongst them, but not too much dialogue. It was actually very much a trailer that depended more on just a few words and more imagery than anything else. There was not a lot said in this trailer. So really we don't know what is going on there, but there was a very interesting scene with Carol. We see a scene with Carol, and it looks like she's sitting in this auditorium, which of course the kingdom is in a school. That's where the base is. And Carol is sitting, and she says into the camera, she goes, "I don't know what the heck's going on in the most wonderful way. I don't know what the heck's going on in the most wonderful way." I don't know what in the world that means. But, you know, you have to wonder, again, is Carol having a mental breakdown? Are there going to be some more things going on? Is she maybe just appealing to Ezekiel? You know, maybe she's flirting with him. Maybe there might be a Carol-Ezekiel relationship in the future. I don't know. But it appears that is where she is, of course. That's where Morgan and Carol are. And I think that for Carol, that might just be her being friendly, too. She might be better. So I don't know what's going on there, but I'm very interested to see what's going on with Carol. And those were pretty much the big moments. And then kind of like how Season 6 was when they had that segment with Daryl being amongst Dwight and Sherry and Tina, you had another thing with Heath and Tara. So what happened here was you have Heath and Tara, of course, being out on their scavenging hunt, and they end up coming across these walkers that are literally buried under sand. And you have Heath fighting them. And then at various different times, you see other people in the background. You know, they're appearing at different places. There's this one part where Tara's running across the tops of cars, and then you see a later scene where she's hiding in the woods. She's like hiding in this like ditch as somebody's running past her. Now, obviously, that makes us wonder, who did they run into? Did they run into the Saviors? Is this one of the ways that they end up meeting up with the group? Or have they met somebody else? You know, one of the things that you have to think about is, because of the fact that we have the Saviors and we might not have a lot of time for another villain, you have to wonder what other kinds of stories they might make. So this could be a different group of villains for all we know. We might have Heath and Tara not reuniting with the group until later. But on the other hand, this may be Heath and Tara running into the Saviors. We obviously can't deny that that could happen. That might be what happened. And eventually, hopefully, they're going to make their way back to the group safe and sound. But who knows? We don't know what's going to happen there. But some other things that were going on, we saw them fighting some walkers at different times. We saw them hiding. And then at the very last scene that we see is Tara hitting something on the ground with a shotgun. Now, whether it's a walker, whether it's a person, we don't know. We're not going to find out, and we didn't see it. So, obviously, there's a lot going on with the rest of the Walking Dead world, unlike with Rick's group, where we really didn't get a lot. But, you know, this trailer definitely helps to bridge the gap in between the wait that we have. So we about have 3 months left. The rest of August, September, and then, of course, October 23rd. Tomorrow will be July 23rd. So we're getting there, but This trailer was definitely bittersweet. It was nice to see what else is going on. It was nice to see some things with Negan's group, with the Hilltop, with the introduction of the Kingdom. To see that Tara and Heath are alive at least is good, but would have been nice to have been given a couple of hints of who was gonna survive, maybe who might die. Maybe there are some clues in there. I don't know, but be sure that I'm going to be watching it again. I'm going to be doing more analysis, and I'm looking forward to Season 7 in 3 months. So with that, I'm going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank all of you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. And if you have any suggestions for future videos that you would like to see, don't be afraid to suggest them. Have a very wonderful evening, and thank you very much for watching.